Nathan, I dread to think what you would have said if you had lost that game.
Well, it's bittersweet really, because you couldn't have gone in and hammered them, because they've been excellent right up until finishing. We've been absolutely superb tonight. We gave one silly free kick away and they punished us, because they can do that because they score 65% of the goals from set play, so we know that. We defended those all night. And a big thing for me tonight was we were the only side really with any flow, with anything. Every time they get a set play or a throw in, it takes them a minute to get the ball in, a minute to clean the ball, to get that. So it's just playing off second balls, and we having to create, the away side having to create the tempo. And I was really proud how we did that tonight, because it should have been 3 or 4 half time. We should have been outside half time, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, because I'm not, because Bristol City are a good side, Manchester's excellent, but tonight on the thing, we should have been out of sight. And then they've scored with their only chance, really, only chance. And then I'm just so pleased that we showed character once again to come back and to score late. Game changers all contributed. Elijah, Carlos crosses it, Danny scores it. Great substitutions. What a manager I am.
Danny Hylton hasn't scored in the Championship before, and then comes on and scores in the 93rd.
I'm so proud of him, because he's been through the mire. Danny's a Championship striker. I remember performances against Newcastle away when Danny was flying, that we would just happened in League Two to have a Championship striker. Now Danny's been, tough with injuries. It's been tough on him for injuries, but he's shown great commitment, great desire, great sort of character to come back, and I'm so pleased with that. Really proud of him. I could not honestly, if my own daughter scored, I wouldn't be any more proud than Danny scoring. So proud of him, and I'm delighted for him.
How come that ball wouldn't go in the net in that first half? So many chances.
Well, look, we had enough quality. We should have had enough quality. I mean, Pelly's chance is brilliant. Cameron, we had 3 in a minute. In terms of that, the kind of chances look, I'll have to recoup and everything. But I thought we were excellent. Apart from finishing, we were excellent. We were front foot. We were better. We were the better side tonight. Categorically, the better side. It's just we just lacked a little bit of quality. But we know that we're not at the top end of Championship in terms of budget and quality, so sometimes we have to structurally do that. But again, we should have been. And again, we've lost Sonny Bradley in the warm-up. Everything that can happen to us at the minute is happening to us. So the character the group are showing is quite phenomenal.
What was the matter with Bradley?
Well, yesterday in training, Carl's struggling with his groins, really struggling. So we're bringing Sonny in, but yesterday doing set plays, he headed the ball and pulled his hip muscle, and we give him an injection. And then he pulled out in the warm up. So we're having to deal with so much at the minute, and it's nothing we're doing. It's nothing that can be avoided, but so tough. But just shows the character, and to come in to do that, because it's a beautiful ground, fantastic training ground, wonderful Championship club, but so happy for him.
2 injury time equalisers now. It's a great trait to have, that you until that final whistle blows, you can't expect anything less than Luton are going to give everything until that last second. Well,
that's been that's the group. That's what they do. But we train like that. We train for stuff. And look, it shouldn't have gone to the 90th minute. We should have been seeing that game out, comfortably. But we weren't. So that's the Championship, because Championship sides can punish you from one chance. They can punish you. But I'm delighted. Look, we've come away from home 2 difficult away games. We've taken 2 points. We're undefeated on the road in terms of this week. So I'm very happy with that. But look, it'll be bittersweet, as I said, because I'm a tinge of disappointment that we're not going away from it with 3, because that's what that performance deserved.
And this is with so many injuries. I mean, when you get them all back, it'd be nice just to have everyone back and ready, and you can properly go. Yeah,
but look, we have to see, we have to test the squad. I mean, look, Danny had 10 offers to leave and wanted to fight for his place, and we're so delighted that he did. Barry hasn't featured and comes in and scores 2 on the weekend. Carlos had a tough baptism on Saturday against a real good right back. Then he comes on today and thought he was excellent. He looked the threat, he glided, he moved, he looked like the player we want him to be. Great cross, so happy for him. He failed his driving test on Friday, so that might have had something to do with the fact that he weren't at it Saturday. But the group were brilliant. Brought Tom Lockyer in today. Gabe was unlucky, but Tom Lockyer was outstanding. Cal outstanding. All of them tonight. I'm so proud of the group, because they give me everything. And as a manager, that's all you want, because then you're just judged on your work.
Did you always think that Hylton still had a future at the club?
Absolutely.
He's had so many injury problems.
Absolutely. Look, the history that Hylton has with Luton and stuff, and I know some people say, he's past it, he's this, he's that. He's absolutely not. And just remember, a couple of years ago, we were going to Newcastle, we were going to Sheffield, we were going to places like that, and we had a championship striker on our hands. He's been unlucky with injury, but he's still the same player who runs, who can head it, he can do a bit of everything. I think him and Cameron are probably the complete strikers we have at the club. Elijah's learning, and we'll get, learns off Cameron and so on and so forth. Harry, again, is a constant threat, but with different. But those are the two number 9s that we have at the club, and I'm really proud of Danny. I really am. He's had to be through some stuff, and it takes a lot of character. But I know he's got a lot of character, because people have been telling he's not good enough for League One, he's not good enough for this. He's a championship striker, and I've been telling people that for years and years, and we were just very fortunate to have him at his peak in League Two, because he caused carnage in League Two.
Game changed a little bit after the break when they brought on De Silva, just gave them a few more options from defence.
It did, but if we could never, I expected something different from they've got an experienced side, so I didn't expect them just to continue in the flow of the first half, because if it had done that, then we'd have had another 7 or 8 chances. So they had to, and this is a good side, it's a good club. I mean, look at the players they've got. Matty James has won the Premier League, Andy King's won the Premier League, Nathan Baker's played in the Premier League for Villa. They've just paid $1.5 million for Rob Atkins. Callas is I think it's Czech Republic international. So I could go on and say, all about them. Maggie Wells cost him $7 million. Chris Martin's a perennial playoff derby centre forward. So they've got a massive squad and a big, expensive, talented, experienced squad, and we're just evolving now and stuff, and I'm excited about what we can do. As I said, I'd be more excited if we had taken 2 of the 5 or 6 chances that we'd had, because that meant that we would have taken 3 points, and then would have led us into the weekend really well. But can't ask more of them, and especially now for what we're going through, because we're going through a lot at the minute, and plans are having to change by the day, and that sometimes can be unsettling and derailing, but it's not derailing this group.